Good afternoon and welcome to the Bonsai Pipeline. This is the WSL Post Show, finally completing the opening round of competition for the top 34 in the world, all fighting for a Pipe Masters trophy. And some of these surfers still looking to requalify for next season, just coming off the Pipe Invitational as well. World champs heat, seeing Steph Gilmore absolutely light it up. Joe Chappelle alongside Strider Wazalewski, former world champ Martin Potter, on a very exciting day to open it up. Waz, we woke up this morning and we actually weren't sure if we were going to be on. Ended up being a really fun day to run the first round.
Well, I knew I was going to be on because I was out there in the lineup to get some work done and show you guys what was happening, and then boom, it looked so good they had it. But we're going to start.
Yeah, it was all your fault.
That's right.
With that big left, you got that big snap, right?
That was the rotator.
Much different story as far as barrels are concerned with pipe and backdoor, but we had some brilliant turns. How'd Kelly look for you, Potts?
Kelly looked on fire today. A couple of little mistakes, but we'll let him off for that. But that huge floater that he did, but for me, that first turn, that stuff never goes old. I mean, that was just as good as it gets.
I kind of like Steph's combos out of the whole day, personally. She was ripping, flowing, just going through turns. Into the nines. Are you kidding me? Come on. That was some of the best surfing I saw all day.
She kind of mentioned how competitive she is. Leading up into that Pipe Invitational heat, she's been riding single fins, kind of filming for a movie project she's working on, and then she's able to turn it on at such a high level in a season that for her has really been a throwaway, Strider.
Yeah, but it really is nice to, like I asked her about it in a little interview before. It was about, I know it's not super competitive right now, but you do want to win, and she is that competitive. And then getting that edge, comboing the field, that's going to be mentally gained through to the next season as it starts, and she's going to sit with that, and she's going to get to feel that, and then she's going to come out firing next year.
Absolutely. I mean, Snapper Rock's first event, it's her home break. It's winless this year. She's going to be fired up.
She's not winless anymore.
Well, that's what I mean up until now. Right? Up until now.
I love it. Steph Gilmore, we'll try to catch up with her a little bit later, but she's enjoying this uncrowded moment at Rippable Surf at Backdoor. She's been surfing just up the way at Pupukea, enjoying her stay here on the North Shore of Oahu. One thing Gilmore said, though, she watched a lot of heats today. The opening round of competition for the men kicked off with the high seeds dominating the first 6 heats of the draw, and finishing with that run with John Florence. But heat number 3 was a fun one to watch. We had a crucial performance on the last exchange for Matt Wilkinson to steal this win, Strider.
Ooh, this was a buzzer beater, so to speak. It went down on the beach when these guys finished up. He needed a pretty solid score, around a 7, and got the score. Nat turned it on in the end here too. He was up into the lip right here. This next turn, I saw this from the water, absolutely crushed it right there. Boom! I'm talking just buckets out the back, Christmas trees lighting it up. So Nat looking good, and Wilco, came back right in the end and took it down. But this man looked like he was going to run away with it, because he really did have a couple of great turns, looking strong, was in the lead after this wave right here, but then Wilco's score came in.
That's right, and it got it, a 7.07 for Wilco on the final. This was the 8-point ride for Frederico Moraes, so Wilco kept his head in the game to take the win, but that story was for Nat Young, not getting the win here, getting sent to a sudden death heat in round 2, and we know he's right on the cutoff mark, Potts.
Danger signs. I think he's surfing good. I mean, he's got to be confident with the way he approached the heat. Didn't make too many mistakes, surfed unreal, but it was just beat right at the end there. So, if anything, he's going to take a little bit of confidence into round number 2. His boards are looking good. He's surfing good enough. It's a tough heat. It was a tough heat.
Interesting one there, because we saw Nat Young surfing with Keanu Asing this morning. Now they're in back-to-back heats as we watch their roll. Asing 1 spot behind Young at 23rd on the cutoff. So he's trying to finish a spot ahead of Nat. Got into that next heat. Jordy Smith was on fire, Strider.
Well, Jordy just had a little bit more strength. He's just a taller guy, so his form looks really good. And he was kind of going about 70%, if you ask me, yet he really looked like he was just commanding the heat. Keanu had a great flow. He had a good tube. He had some great turns. Finn wasn't lying down either. But look at the big man, Potts.
Yeah, I mean, bringing that same kind of form that he had at Sunset. He just looked like he was in cruise control. So, Jordy Smith has plenty left in the tank. I mean, pretty much walked through this heat. These are the kind of waves that really suit his style of surfing. I mean, it's just right up his alley. Just right-hand waves that kind of grow as they go down the end, and then those big finishing opportunities. So he's going to, if it stays like this, he's going to be a danger man for sure.
Get a powerful wave with a lot of open face, and you got Jordy Smith. Good luck at taking this guy out. Exactly. He's so powerful, and he's been having fun this whole trip.
Wow, we have seen him surf a lot rocky rights out front. Pupukea just having a blast. Saw him out here on the sandbar hanging out with his girl and just having so much fun. That little sneaky one right there from Finn, almost got the completion, but they didn't give it to him. He didn't ride out of it.
There we go. So a close decision there. And Potts, the big story on the line, Nat Young, Keanu Singh, 22 and 23 in the world on the Jeep leaderboard, both sent to round 2. They'll be in the back part of the round as we check up their matchups. Nat Young, former Rookie of the Year, taking on Jadson Andre. Remember, Jadson's already free to roam for next year.
Yep.
His role is thinking of maybe a double qualifier to maybe bring up Zeke. How's this one going to play out?
This is going to be a great battle, no matter whether it's going to be pipeline or if it's going to be backdoor, because they both are similar surfers in the fact that they've got that backhand whip, which is amazing, and they can both find the barrel. We've seen them both threading tubes at Chopu, and I've seen Jaddy out here just getting sick pits last year behind the foam ball come flying out, so we know they can get it done. That's going to be a really hard one to call.
Jadson's often in this seat that Nat's in.
Yep.
He's finished 22 twice. He's finished 21st before. He's not going to feel pressure. Are you seeing Nat surf with the nerves in that first heat?
A little bit, but I think once he gets in the water, he's it's just going to let his surfing do the talking. But Jadson's going to be dangerous. I mean, Jadson started off his heat today really well, and then kind of lost rhythm. Started with that big air reverse on the front side. If he can do that kind of surfing against Nat, I think it's going to be tough. If it's all on the backhand, though, I think Nat's going to get the nod.
The big heat also for Keanu Singh immediately to follow once again, and it's another double qualifier situation for Kanoa Igarashi.
Yep.
Kanoa trying to get a spot on tour for his teammate in Zeke Lau, who's sitting number 11, and Keanu fighting for his spot on tour Strider.
That's just a crazy heat right there. Round 2, so you lose, you're going home. If Kanoa loses, he's going to basically crush Zeke's hopes. It's going to be up to Jaddy maybe. It's just such a rough ride right there. Round 2 is just not where you want to go down. But you know what? Keanu, having a win this year has got to give you a lot of confidence in coming out into this lineup and being at home, being comfortable. That's going to be a really tough battle, too.
Potts, how are you seeing that one play out? Kanoa obviously saw it on the QS. Keanu with a win for the first time on the CT level, but under pressure in this heat.
I think the pressure's going to get to him. I think he's had 7 25ths this year. Kanoa Igarashi, I don't think he's lost in round 2 this entire year. So if you look at those kind of stats, I think Kanoa's going to have the upper hand. A little bit more confident in the fact that he's got, he's already through to next year. It's going to be a tough one for Keanu Singh.
Some heavy heats to look forward to come round 2, which potentially could be out there tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break from the post show. When we come back, we are going to break down number 1 and 2 in the world on their goal to win the Pipe Masters.
Welcome back to the WSL Pro Show. I think it's unanimous. One of the highlights is Stephanie Gilmore's performance in the Pipe Invitational. Steph, you know, you said jokingly to Strider that this is the second final you've made all year. How good does it feel to take that heat out, especially with those two world champions like yourself?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I waited all year to do it, but I'm really happy to finally win something. And against Carissa and Tyler, they're both the best surfers in my eyes. So yeah, and we're also competitive. We're out there like laughing and being friends, but deep down we all want to get the best wave and get a really good score. So yeah, I love this little heat. It's really fun. I wish it was barreling, but we'll have to wait till next year.
And you said that you're excited to get this year wrapped up. Is this the start for 2017 and a reinvigorated Steph Gilmore?
Yeah, I'm already, you know, feeling much stronger in my surfing, and I think this year my biggest letdown was just my equipment, like as in I wasn't choosing the right equipment and stuff, but yeah, I feel like I'm already on top of things like that, so I'm really excited for next year.
Well, Joe just pointed out you've been working on so many different projects, and then seeing you at Pupuke yesterday on the single fin, and then able to just snap into that competitive mode on the thruster. What's that like for you, just being able to do it at the drop of a hat?
Yeah, I just have so much fun riding different equipment, and you know, I've been surfing Pupuke all day, every day, just because it's so fun, and I'm on a twin fin 1 minute, and then a boogie board the next minute, and then that was actually my first surf out at Backdoor and Pipe this trip, so I was a little nervous, but I thought this board would go pretty good, and it's a little step up, but yeah, it feels great. And I feel like out here in Hawaii, you can't underestimate the power of the waves, so it's always better to have a little more foam than less. So yeah, I thought I'd grab something and went well.
All right, Steph, well, we can't wait to see what you do in 2017, and well done to all the ladies in that invitational heat. Back to you, Joey.
Thank you, Rosie. Stephanie Gilmore, a big 9-point ride at 8.0, comboing the world champs in that matchup. She looked flawless in her technique and rhythm. You can tell she's in a really good place, and oftentimes something big like that can spark a little bit of fire coming into next season, Was.
I think she's going to win the world title next year. I really do. I feel like if she does the kind of surfing that she did all year and strings it together, I mean, I think that she had the greatest moments of the year this year, just did not string them together. I mean, some of those turns, those carves, the West Oz, I mean, just absolutely flawless surfing, the Gold Coast. So just putting it all together, heat after heat, she can win the world title.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to, you know, she's got to dig deep, obviously. Carissa's going to be on fire. Tyler Wright's got the confidence now. Courtney Conlot's, you know, back-to-back second places. She's going to be fired up. Sure, Sally's going to be in the mix, and there's a few young guns too. I mean, Tatiana Weston Webb surfing well, so it's going to be a massive year next year.
A radical year. Remember, Martin Potter in Maui said he will quit surfing if Stephanie Gilmore doesn't win another world title in her career. I'm not going to hold you up to that because that's a scary thought.
I'm going to hold myself to that. How's that? Because I know she's going to win a world title for sure.
Amazing.
Another one, I should say.
That's right. Speaking of world champs, we really were focusing on John Florence and Gabriel Medina, guys number 1 and 2 in the world this season, both fighting for their first world title. Going back, we had Gabriel Medina with a matchup with Kanoa Igarashi and the amazing wild card in Bruce Irons. How'd you like watching this heat, Strider?
Oh, it was fun. Brucey just went over and surfed gums, just solo session, doing some surfing on a little tiny board, whipping that thing up into the lip right here. I like that turn a lot. Fast little carve in the corner. So Brucey just really opting to have some fun with this heat, I think, because, you know, down the line he's looking at pipeline.
And also Kanoa Igarashi getting in the mix, getting a solid score in there. Remember, he's trying to go on road to double qualify, so he's taking this heat very seriously as they all want to hoist the Pipe Masters trophy. All of a sudden, after a couple of waves from the other competitors, then Medina absolutely took over, Potts.
Yeah, I mean, watch this turn right here. A little air up onto the lip and then free fall drop. The guy looks so confident. He's got some new Takoras under his feet, you know, those little 6.0 pintails. I mean, he's looking good. He's looking on fire. He's had moments like this all year, though. You know, he's been looking amazing. I think that's the last event. He wants to win it back-to-back seconds. I think it's time he's going to go through and win this thing, I think.
Well, you know, let's face it. He's had a lot of close calls that could have went either way this year. Unfortunately for him, they went the other way. Yeah. But I really do feel like he's the most adapted surfer on tour. He can do it from 2 to 20. He loves it. He can get barreled. He can do it above the lip. So I really feel like he's going to be right there this next year.
The very next heat, we saw the world champ John Florence take on Jadson Andre, and another amazing wild card coming from the trials, Gavin Beshen. Jaddy went above the lip for a big 7.0 to start, Was?
Yeah, definitely. You know, he's got that on lock. Unfortunately, he had this young man in his heat as well, who was just at home and flowing up into the lip, twerking, landing, flowing, just having fun. I love the way this kid surfs. A little tube right out front, why not? I'm at home, grabs the wall, comes flying out. You know, hats off, looking like the world champ.
I think they're both looking amazing. I mean, you know, it's a coin toss on who's going to win it. Really, it's, you know, whoever gets the waves on the day. You know, they both look sharp in round one. You know, John's obviously got no pressure. He's got that world title already, so he's going to just be trying to put the icing on the cake. And if he keeps doing that, you know, he's going to be there for sure when the smoke clears.
The greatest part about this whole matchup for me is they both haven't had a pipe master, right? They want that so bad. You can almost taste it and feel it. Guys like Kelly Slater just taking it away just at the last second, Julian Wilson. So they've been so just right there, but they don't have it.
Yep.
Crazy. Medina coming the closest the last two seasons, back-to-back final appearances. Medina had the second highest combined heat total of the opening round. John had the highest. So sticking to the rankings as they're both into round three. One name you mentioned, Kelly Slater, who's always going to try to play spoiler in some role. 44 years of age, looked so youthful and lively in this matchup. Did maybe one of the best front-side off the tops we saw all day, Potts.
Yeah, look at that right there. I mean, you just got to sit back and watch that. I mean, there's not much you can say about it. It's just everything was perfect. The bottom turn straight into that maneuver. He made a couple of mistakes, as I said before. You know, fell on. I think he caught like 4 waves. He fell on 3 of them, but looking sharp in between. I mean, they're probably one of the craziest floaters I've seen for a while. So mixing it up, surfing good. That board looks really good under his feet. So if he can continue that, he's looking good for number 8. Crazy, huh?
We didn't see him do the runaround. We even saw Bones get out there. Otts did the runaround, and not Slater. He just opted to paddle back out and get in the flow and stay in the rhythm. This floater, though, to me I loved it. I saw it from eye level. Big float, just drops over the lip, down through the foam, and comes flying out at the bottom. Just one of those things, you know, it just got every little bit of magic going right now, and I like the equipment he's riding. It looked like a little bit more board, and definitely, you know, looked like the board had a great form to it, the way he was carving into it. I love the way he was surfing.
I mean, it's, you know, he's a big, strong kid, right? And I think when he rides boards that are a little bit too small, he overpowers them. If he's got a little bit more length, a little bit more foam under his feet, it just looks so amazing. And that board exactly what the doctor ordered, really.
Well, going into that heat, we had remembered he talked about some back pain and maybe feeling a little uncomfortable. He wanted to let his body rest, but then he's going for floats on dry reef, looking so comfortable. So even in smaller waves where you might have to work harder to get wins, Kelly's still a huge factor at this event.
Kelly, you're not fooling anybody. You've got a 67 over on the course. You're walking around playing golf. You're blowing up out here doing huge carves, huge floats. He's on fire. He's just the art of war is what I call that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's just trying to throw things around there so people sort of drop their guard, and that's part of the game, innit? Psych them out before you hit the water.
Well, it was an incredible opening day of competition at the Billabong Pipe Masters. Now, round 2 matchups are all set. You can check them all out on WorldSurfLeague.com. We'll leave you with the highlights of the day, and join us bright and early tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. local time for Dawn Patrol. We'll see you then.